Welcome to Moments in Time on the Inside Line with Lucian Byfield from South Australia. There was a time that the Australian Grand Prix was held in my backyard here in Adelaide, and it was the final round of the championship, meaning we would often see a recently newly crowned world champion for the first time, or, as on two lucky occasions, we would have the championship decided here. How lucky we were. Thinking back to just a few memories, who can forget Nigel Mansell sitting pretty in 86, in third place, title within reach, and then boom, that tyre failure. What about 89, that crazy wet race, when Murray Walker called spin, 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 when Senna went round and round, eventually, like Jaws, eating up Martin Brundle's Brabham. And it was Nakajima who got fastest lap that day, and in doing so, became a legend. What about Nelson Piquet winning in Benetton, but nearly having an on-track crash with Mansell in the Ferrari? And then we had the Schumacher and Hill clash of 94, where Shuey said, "I turned in and there was Damon." He also claimed broken steering. Yeah, righto, mate. Overall, Adelaide provided the closing curtain on a season, and we were lucky enough to see final drives and wins from many drivers. We saw the last races of notables like Keke Rosberg, Niki Lauda, Nelson Piquet, but we were the luckiest audience in the world ever to see Senna and Prost fight for the last time and finish a race for the last time, finishing first and second in 93, which turned out to be both of these legends' final podiums in a Grand Prix. Who knew? Senna had his last win here and his last ever finish, and so did Mansell and Keke Rosberg. One thing no one ever seems to talk about is that Gerhard Berger won the final race for the mighty McLaren-Honda partnership in 92. Ironic, given that it is Senna and his name that is most synonymous with the Marlboro-McLaren-Honda package. So, to Melbourne. For the majority of the races held there, they have hosted the first round of the championship, meaning Australian fans have been treated to the first races of many drivers like Jenson Button, Jacques Villeneuve, Kimi Raikkonen, Juan Pablo Montoya, Fernando Alonso, and even Lewis Hamilton. Some memories that come to mind instantly are Jacques Villeneuve getting pole in his first race, but coming second to Hill after sustaining some damage and an oil leak towards the end of the race. Mika Hakkinen, David Coulthard and McLaren caused a furore when in 98 they orchestrated the finish despite a mistake from Mika, and it was the bookies and the many who had placed bets on DC to win that day that kicked up a stink. We have seen some amazing first corner pile-ups too, and many with Felipe Massa, who seemed destined for a big one every time he raced there. But 97 was a great one with Irvine, Herbert and Villeneuve all getting caught up. But the mother and father of them all was seeing Ralf Schumacher go flying at the first corner in 2002 after trying to climb Barrichello. Melbourne has seen some first-time winners too. Eddie Irvine in 99 for Ferrari, and what a popular win that was with the many expats cheering madly in the crowd. Interestingly, David Coulthard had his first McLaren win in 97 and his final career win in 2003. Giancarlo Fisichella won in 2005 on his sort-of return debut for Renault, and Kimi Raikkonen won on his Ferrari debut in 2007. And while not a win, who can forget the awesome performance of Lewis Hamilton the same year? My goodness, we knew we were witnessing a great. Sadly, there was a death in 2001 when Ralf Schumacher ran into the back of Jacques Villeneuve, and a tyre that shouldn't have fit in a gap at a marshal post somehow, with inertia, forced its way into the gap and collected the helpless Graham Beveridge. It angers me that Formula One brags that there has not been a death since Senna until Jules Bianchi, because there have been two marshals that I can recall killed in Formula One races, the other being at Monza in 2000 when Paolo Ghizlimberti was struck by a flying wheel. Anyway, in recent times, of the current drivers racing this Sunday, Sebastian Vettel has won 3 times, Lewis Hamilton and Kimi Raikkonen both winning twice. And that is it, because Fernando Alonso, Jenson Button and Nico Rosberg, all winners here, are now retired. So, will we see a new winner? Chances are Sebastian Vettel will win again, given Ferrari's form in testing, but Charles Leclerc on debut could spring a surprise. I would not write off Mercedes. I think with Lewis and that team, the slight deficit they appear to have can be sorted. Will Mad Max and the Red Bull Racing Honda be any good? And will Daniel Ricciardo finally get his first podium, technically at least, here on Australian soil, on debut for Renault? We can only hope. Australians have not done well here in general, Webber always found trouble, and Danny Rick got stripped of his first ever career podium in 2014. Come on, honey badger. Anyway, that's it for Moments in Time on the Inside Line. Catch you later from Australia. Australia.